There we go. Alright, the Druskish Enlightened Kingdom. Briefly, we have some of our galactic eco-villains. They've been a scourge on the galaxy as well. It's kind of the bad guys from Captain Planet is the theme. If they all got together and and they actually managed to destroy the world with pollution as their dastardly plots always do. But we're gonna go to our Sloths. This is the game that we all started together. Now, because it's been a minute, I need to reorient myself as well as fill in everyone. So we are this satisfying green color here to go with the green of the trees that we have left behind to take up the stars as a sloth. Our home planet of Twitch in the star of Prime, around the star Prime, Twitch Prime. Subtle reminders. Our people are divided. Our people are not certain if going out into the stars was a good idea. Many of the sloth people stayed home. And so the way the story played out, it was a unique origin to our people. Not anyone else had this, but what happened was a faction of our people, roughly a third, left the homeworld and colonized Den, our binary, like, orbiting moon here. And so they colonized it. They'd actually terraformed it as well. They made it an ocean world. It used to be a desert. And so they're living there, and they want nothing to do with anything outside our home system. And they get kind of mad when we do. In fact, we love aliens. We decided that we were going to embrace them. And so here's, there's, not Emperor, Pastor Drewski, the leader of our noble people. And we actually have since made a lot of friends. We've got, here's your sloth Drewskites. Alright, there they are, but we've got some mushroom guys here, some squiddy face guys there, some birds, penguin people. They've all been flocking, if you will, to the Druskish people, our territory. As far as politics, our neighbors they've changed a lot. We've been trying to expand our borders. You can see how this is just kind of snaking and kind of got gaps and holes. It's like Swiss cheese. We've been trying to expand. To do so costs this purple resource up here called Influence. You need about 75 for every star that you expand to. When I hold Alt is when all the icons appear, so that's why it's a little more convoluted. That's my push to talk button. So we can't quite afford to get everything, but we're working on it. We're working on it. Meanwhile, we had a few neighbors. This purple neighbor, the Holy Principality here, the bird people, they weren't very excited. Actually, no, I think it's these guys. Yeah, nope, that's the ones below. So as the bird people, they were just not happy about having us as neighbors. They really didn't like us. It might have had something to do with a mysterious event of a starbase exploding that we clearly had nothing to do with. But they had a starbase here on our border explode. The star went neutral, and now, well, it was open. We claimed it. And along with this is a black hole and a ruined matter decompressor. It's a mega structure that can extract resources that have been in the past sucked into that black hole. We can pull back out. So we've laid claim to that, and they weren't too happy about it. But at about the same time, their neighbors, these guys who were purple all over here, the other purples, their federation, they actually conquered these guys, and rather than taking them over, they convinced them of the error of their ways and make them a brethren in their federation. So they're joined the federation. So even though the birds don't like us, they can't declare war because these guys over here, they love us. All of these guys, they absolutely love us. And so you need a majority vote in a federation, at least by default. There's ways to change that. So we're not at war. These are actually our friends. Purple is friend. However, gray to the south, the aphid things, this is a hive mind. We don't actually get along that well. They're a little protective of us. They kind of like us, but they've been at war with our purple neighbors. We don't know how it's going to play out. There's another hive mind. These used to be green up here. They have become a subsidiary under the hive mind to the south. They are a vassal. So we have an alliance of hives to our north and to our south, and with our friends to the west. That is the political situation of the game. So meanwhile, we've got our fleet. We've got several of our members here in chat are involved. You have obviously Pastor Drewski leading the Empire, but Elias is here. He's one of our scientists. There he is. Look at that handsome mug. Out here checking out the far fringes. There's not much left to explore, but he's trying to find out what's out there. There's Dutchy, our head of research. Noble, poised, carries himself very well. Outtro might be a little unstable, but still very eager to to lead our fleets into victory. He's actually an intimidator, apparently. So he generates more influence for us. We also have Baby Drewski. This is our crown prince, and Baby Drewski's taking a nap right now. I haven't heard him for a little bit, but he's been doing his thing. Right now he's actually getting older. He's 71, but he's our imperial heir. He's excavating an archaeological site. Cardella, our grand storyteller. There you are. Outlived a few others. 89. Yeah, Elias, we've had a few die-offs, so you're doing okay. Doing okay. There's Cardella, though, the grand storyteller. Genius. Look at that. Genius. Head researcher, or a researcher adding to our thing. This here, Leicester, this is not one of our chat. This is actually part of the new DLC. This is a unique leader, a hero, a renowned paragon that brings a unique trait to our navy. He's basically a pirate. There's Not Gurner as well. Not Gurner is being our governor, taking care of one of our planets. He's actually on our brand new tech world. Where's this? This is this planet is a relic world. It is a former. It's a genius. It's a former world that was entirely encapsulated with a city. A city once stretched across this entire world. Only ancient and abandoned ruins remain now. Their original inhabitants long since departed. So we're going to study the ruins here, and that's what Gurner's been kind of up to, as well as the clearing the blocker for reducing the cost of it. We have to clear out like the crumbling tunnels and shattered solar arrays. We got to work on a lot of stuff there. But we're not at war with anyone. We're actually quite friendly. Our contacts, you know, we only have... In fact, everyone loves us. Everyone loves us. Look at this. All this plus numbers, that means they love us. The only ones negative are actually a pre-FTL species that we've been studying. We might have influenced some of their development. They might not appreciate that, but they don't get much to say about that. So, you know, they're the only ones who are not so sure about us. I have no idea what this was. Oh, yes, I do. We did have an outbreak of some sort. If you remember from a few weeks ago, we were trying to get some minerals, putting some mines. This was an especially rich asteroid belt with these crystals. And then the reason why they're so rich, apparently, is because it was some hive. So there's a hiver nest here that we're going to have to take out. Overall, each one of these is 1.3 thousand fleet power. 1.3k. So overall, we need about 7,000 fleet power to take it on. We don't have to fight them all at once, but it's still to be safe. Our fleet is about 4. Not sure what we had just done. We might. Oh, we were clearing out the. There was guys over here. What were they? They were the miners, the drones. There was drones scattered about the environment, and we had to clear it out. So they just took on those. We'll give him the order to repair that. Let's check our planets. He's got an opening, but he also has plenty of jobs left. I could build a building here. That's what this little marker is off to the side. But there's plenty of jobs left for him to do. Each time the population grows, they'll fill in one of these jobs, each pop that grows. And I've still got 4 jobs available. Similar over here with this tropical world. They've got 2 jobs available. Now this planet is good at science, and so we might go ahead and put a science lab here, just so I don't forget. Another good science place. Though, do I have something else I need to be building? I hardly remember. It's been a while. No, we're okay. Alright, let's unpause.
Colonization in progress.
Oh, good. We had sent off a colony ship at some point. Looks like we're terraforming some worlds as well.
System
terraforming.
Complete.
Here's Cardella. Again, we're running out of things to scan. Oh yes, we need to take out that research the tree there. So I think Cardella, I think you are actually going to return and start digging up some of these archaeological sites. There's not much else for you to go find out. We actually know there's already another empire evidently we haven't met. Somebody is here at Navi, because this has been claimed. Digging it is. Yep. Oh yes, and we actually had something else go on. This was pretty fun. The colony that we're just doing, this is what just happened. So we had discovered, this was a long story, rock and stone. So when we came to this planet, the system of Hilito, our scientists discovered that there was, due to the gravitational patterns, we discovered that there should be a planet-sized mass in the solar system, and it wasn't there. It was gone. And we studied it, and we found that there was thousands of micro wormholes that left a trail off in a direction. So our interest was piqued, and we went off in discovery, and we found a previously unreachable star system, the Dacha system. And when we arrived, we discovered it was filled. There was like 10 Gaia worlds. Now, I've played this game. I know what's happening, but we're playing it up, right? So this Gaia world's perfect paradise worlds, loaded with people, and but none of them had achieved spaceflight. So we went over there, we started studying them, found out they were studying us in return, and made contact. And they said, hey, we're really good at hyperlanes, at wormholes. We don't even need ships. We can just wormhole, teleport ourselves around. But we want you to go away. We don't really like you being here studying us. And so in exchange, rather than attacking them or something, in exchange, they actually gave me a new Gaia world of my own. And they sent it to our homeworld. So we actually have Prime. Because it's in the system Prime. And so we have a brand new perfect planet that we're colonizing. Very nice. Alright, so back to unpausing.
Anomaly found.
Oh, I forgot. I'm in like speed mode. We found a toxic construction somewhere beneath Rantor 3's Alpha's unctuous clouds. Unnatural structures silhouette themselves against the toxic surface. This is Elias, and he's checking out this toxic world. The head of research the people need. It's true. Drek, I'm glad to have you back. Look at this. Elias is stubborn. Has developed a streak of stubbornness, strong opinions on certain topics, making collaboration with other researchers very difficult. How true. How true. But I'll still let you check that one out. Drek, this is our first game back in like 2 weeks on this thing, so you haven't missed much here. Elias. Okay, this place is our factory world. We're just gonna keep building them. Oh yes, it also is the location of a subterranean civilization living under the surface that we're friends with. Cider Prime. I forgot about that. So there they are. We're role-playing, yep. You had to work at work? I am sorry to hear that. If there's anything we can do to help you emotionally recover, just, you know, let us know. Looks like we're building a starbase here. We want to make sure that this wormhole stays ours.
Complete.
Also, this is a border
Spaceborne life form encountered.
with our neighbors. Get some minerals. We're not... we have good income, but we're spending it as fast as it comes in. And we just researched cloning. So our growth speed increased by 10%. Now, our starbase capacity, we have a max of 7 right now. We can go over that. It just makes our starbases cost more. We're only using 3. This is not an emergency. We would like to just get more research. You can help by trying to get the release of Homeworld 3 moved up. You're on the second to last mission of Homeworld 2. That is awesome. Have you beaten it before? It looks like there's an ad playing. I don't know if you heard me. I'll ask in 12 seconds. Sorry about the ads. There we go. So Drek, have you beaten Homeworld 1 and 2 in the past? I love it. In fact, I've been playing through it. We've got delayed, sidetracked, things like that, but I've been playing through it with the kids. We actually played Deserts of Karak first, and then we're in Homeworld 1 at this point with the kids. Yep, Twitch. Well, you needed to know. You needed to know about Mayo. I actually, I saw that it was playing, and I just waited to ask about Homeworld afterwards. Sorry about it. But we all need Mayo. Ooh, there's a desert world over there. I think we still want to like leapfrog this star if we can stay friendly with those guys. This planet might make it worthwhile. Oh my. News has reached Twitch that the Winds of Fortune is no more. Following a hostile encounter with the unidentified Empire, the once bustling merchants of Numa Caravan is now little more than interstellar scrapyard. An unfortunate end for those serving the goddess of fortune herself. Unfortunate. I think we had deals with them in the past. Do we have some Numa? No? Don't really see any, but it's too bad. Yeah, Drek, it tells me when an ad is playing, and if I was good at my job, it tells me when it's about to play, and I can delay it. So, like, if we're having an important discussion or important point in the game, I can delay it. I can't stop it, but I can just delay it for like 2 minutes at a time, and I can only do like 3 times, and then it forces it to play, and then I can't do another delay for however much amount of time. But you're not beating them. You're halfway through Homeworld 1 when you were a kid. Okay, it's so good. I'm glad you're getting to play it now. It does. It does. You will watch Mayo ads. It is your destiny. What was this place going to be? I think it might have been a trade station on its way here. Yeah, it must have been. Oh my! Now none of us remember this, but there was, at the beginning of the game, over in the Tap Rib system, which is this little cul-de-sac, if you will, around near our capital, we had found a countdown. It was an atomic countdown, and it was going to be 42 years from now the timer would run out, and we're going to find out what happens. So researchers on Twitch have eagerly anticipated the countdown of the mysterious atomic clock of prodigious precision found on Taprib 1 for the past 42 years and 3 days. Several decades worth of heated speculation and conjecture have evaporated in an instant. The clock has just now reached its momentous deadline, ejecting a stream of self-replicating nanites. The nanites have constructed some manner of advanced computational network on the surface of Chapter 1 Prime. The network is inactive and seemingly devoid of any AI, the nanites having deactivated the instant its construction was complete. Our researchers are somewhat baffled as to the purpose of the network. Studying it should keep them occupied for quite some time. Well, that's incredible. Plus 10 science over here on this asteroid. You blew through the last third of Homeworld 1 by having just a massive, powerful... Yeah, that you do. That is part of it. You just steamroll. I love the fact that the fleet is persistent, though. That was such a novel idea back then. Homeworld 2 does not let you hang out in missions after the objective is complete. I think it auto-mines it. I think it just mines it for you, rather than you waiting like Homeworld 1. And yeah, they definitely are more creative with it. But Homeworld, if you're playing on the remastered edition, Homeworld 1 is rebuilt on Homeworld 2's engine. It's not actually Homeworld 1's engine. And so that might also be why the gameplay this time around felt easier. I don't remember if it technically is easier, but it's different. The gameplay is different. The fighters and stuff work differently. Oh, building ships. Yeah. Having just time. Okay. This was the toxic world that Elias was checking out. Ranter 3 Alpha is crisscrossed by overlapping mineral composite bands that are elevated above the harsh surface by tall, flexible pylons. Constantly agitated by atmospheric winds, these pylons sway and the overlapping bands rub together to produce sonic waves of what are, to Truskites, inaudible frequencies. Science Officer Elias reports some difficulty in isolating the audio from natural background noise of the planet, but notes that the mineral bands could, should we so choose, be broken down and efficiently recycled by the Druskish Enlightened Kingdom. So we could make preparations to salvage them and get money, or isolate and study the alien sounds. That is only available to us because Elias is a perfectionist. I think we will follow Elias's advice to isolate and study the alien sounds. 9 science. Not an insignificant amount. Our total society research is 118. 9 more to that is a decent chunk. Now we have to go and claim that place.
Complete.
I don't remember this. I don't remember what's going on here. Our ongoing research into the broken relic discovered with Exodaisies was hit by a roadblock. Given how many pieces are missing, we can only speculate on its true purpose. Oh, wasn't this a, Well, hold on. However, based on the anomalous readings we've recorded while in close proximity, there's some reason to conclude that the object has an impact on space-time. Unfortunate. Let's look at our situation. Doesn't talk about the relic. I don't remember the relic. I don't remember what was happening. Kind of bummed. I think, though, wasn't there a, like, capsule that we found which had some child in it that was, like, the chosen one? Didn't we have that happen? I don't know anymore. It's been so long. We found a new species. Oh! I know what we found. We made first contact with mysterious aliens in the Eptebrand system. For now, we've codenamed them Alpha Aliens until we can find out more about them. If they possess a language, we must decipher it in order to establish communications. They have massive star bases. 5,000, 13,000. Combat strength, don't mess with them. A fleet of 20,000. Oops.
Construction complete.
got some refugees. Refugees from the
Incoming transmission.
Star Collective there have arrived on Gamma Draconis. The Dorblon. These guys. We got some more of these guys. It's okay. We love them all. All aliens are friends. Now, these guys want non-aggression pact, and that's actually fine. I wouldn't normally mind. It's these gray guys down here. They like us. The problem is it costs us influence to maintain non-aggression pacts. And we're desperate for influence, so I'm going to say no. Oh, and it looks like the two have made peace. Oh, wow. Maybe I should have said yes. The gray has actually conquered a section here, and we now border them. This is new. Previously, we did not have a shared border. So it looks like both sides won some and lost some. So some, like, 4 planets, 5 planets change hands systems. But what matters to us is this right here, that we're touching them now. Does having a border with them hurt your relation? It does slightly. And it depends on your stance. So let's look at it first. So our relations, if we know enough about them. Okay. Border friction. If you see, there's a whole lot of numbers here. But you see their opinion of us. Plus 130. We had a friendly first greeting. Galactic community members. Border friction is -8. So it's taking 8 away from our relation. Because we now touch. Now, our people don't mind as much, so the border friction for our opinion of them is -3. That one doesn't matter, because our opinion of them is whatever I think it is. So, but their opinion of us does matter, so -8. Now, that's not really significant, and the reason why it's so insignificant is we have a expansion policy. Our diplomatic stance, rather, is cooperative, which causes a -50% border friction modifier. So I think normally it's what, like 15? Something like that. And so now it's only 8. When you start the game, you're an expansionist. And so it actually doubles that to border friction to plus 100%. So it normally would be like a -30 modifier. If that 15 is doubled to 30. But instead we've cut it in half, so it's -8. Because we like aliens. We're still doing these peace festivals, apparently. Those are just modifiers, so they're all modifiers together. Let's look at it again. So total, we have a positive of our relations are 188. It's trending down. Last month it went down by 5, so it was 193. Currently, their opinion of us is 130. That's the total. But part of the reason why it's that 130, yeah, it's a trend. So part of that reason of the 130 is we had a friendly first greeting, but time is going on. Like, we got plus 50 initially for being nice. It's that amount is down to 34 because every year it drops by 1/4 of a point. That's a slow rate of drop, but it is dropping, so that won't last forever. We're also currently improving relations. If we ever just stopped improving relations, we wouldn't have that going for us either. So but because we have relations already, they have built up a trust with us, and that trust should overwhelm. Like, basically, unless anything bad happens, without anything bad happening, this should be a friend forever, right? Like, they should like us pretty well for a while. I do want to remember, though, the camera's going to pan to the left here. I want to change our title because I should mention the game is on Grand Admiral and such, and so anyone who's just joining from the Stellaris channel probably wants to know what difficulty we are. So highly aggressive, Grand Admiral, and yet we're friends with everyone. That's kind of an accomplishment.
Construction
At least everyone who's our
complete.
neighbor.
Construction complete.
Ah, yes, this is going to be a trade station up here. Some trade hubs. He's going to collect trade from this northern section and send it back home.
Research complete.
Okay, our scientists are a little bit better at
System
engineering.
survey complete.
We're going to do the deep core mining. We're just not worried about warfare. We're hoping that our friendly relations will hold. More refugees arriving, it's just more population for us. And pops are all, like, they're all important. Do you need more food?
Construction complete. Incoming transmission.
Ooh, our penguin friends, which one are you?
Special
Trying to move
project
this.
complete.
Okay, the penguins are green way over here, like nowhere close to us. They want to do a commercial pact. That'll give us about 30 energy a turn, which is great. We're only making 100, so that's a big jump. It's going to cost, and it won't cost us, but they'll get 15, 13. However, it costs influence, so I'm going to turn it down. All right, space crystals are pacified. I didn't even remember I was doing this, but evidently we were trying to pacify some crystals, so they seem to resonate in response to something. One of their few interactions with their environment. The exact nature and possible wider purpose of this emitted waveform has yet to be ascertained, but for now, our ships can approximate it by using radio pings, essentially camouflaging themselves as fellow crystals. Resonant. So, we now have crystalline pacification. All crystalline entity fleets are non-hostile, and we get a new research. We can research crystal-infused hull plating for our ships. I don't even know if there's any crystals alive in our neighborhood. Those were amoeba. That's mining station. Mining. Yeah, I don't know if we had any crystals. But they like us now too. Ah! Archaeological site. Who was doing this? Was this one Baby Drewski? This is Baby Drewski. Massive dilapidated structures cover the entire surface of this world. At one time, this city planet must have been home to billions, but now it is empty. Whoever lived here must have left clues about what had happened to them, but finding them will require a detailed examination of the surface. Intriguing. Start digging. Alright, so Baby Drewski is on the case. We got some minor artifacts just by showing up. Losing food is not the worst thing. We can just buy more, but I just don't like seeing red numbers up there.
Spaceborne life form encountered.
Oh, they're coming to us. Still waiting on this other fleet. He's much slower. G-Ito's really fast. We can win. I just want to win efficiently. Oh well.
Hostile fleet engaged.
There he is. There's a pirate. No losses. The Alpha Aliens. Way up here. Remember the giant star bases? We had to flee, so we don't get to see them now. Although their dwellings and habitat stations would suggest an advanced society, Envoy Galena Kolosova is unsure whether we are indeed dealing with an intelligent life form. They seem unremittingly hostile, so much so that a stable society seems almost unthinkable. Even during our brief period of investigation, we have observed several display of pure barbarism. They seem to have a language, but our linguists are still working on deciphering it so that we can make some sense of this display. Disturbing. Homeworld vibes, absolutely, with all the little laser beams there. I didn't realize I was... Nope, you're not going to do that right now. I thought Navi was occupied. Something changed. Our terraforming just completed, though. Pilgrim 2 has finished faster than initially estimated, which has left our terraforming specialists with time to experiment. The results are impressive. The planet's natural traits have been enhanced to be both aesthetically pleasing and utilitarian. So I can say either marvelous, gaining 10 amenities, that's happiness on the planet, or does it have to look so artificial, giving it some natural beauty, happiness, and immigration pull. Let's do the immigration pull because we do have migration treaties and such. Okay, so it's been terraformed. We can colonize it. And the Corinth warriors have been sighted. Where's this? Where's this? For several months, we have received scattered reports of small numbers of alien mercenaries and privateers operating on the frontiers of our space. Certainly the frontier. It's on the other side of the galaxy. We're over here. This is way down here. They call themselves the Corinths and are apparently exiles from a nomadic warrior culture inhabiting overcrowded space stations in and around the Screeching Abyss system, which I think is that. Their passage near our space proceeded without incident, but they warned us against trespassing in Screeching Abyss. There's no Corinth central government to speak of, but their various factions are engaged in constant infighting and often launch raids against neighboring star systems. Indeed, given their vast population and space-based production capability, the Corinths would likely be a significant galactic power if they ever stopped killing each other. We're apparently going to contact them. Aye! More Dawamax! What do you want, foolish Dawamak? What happened to make your face look like that? Reactor accident? Vacuum exposure? Hi! Look at you. We are the Corinths. We hunt Dawamak. If you come to Corinth turf, we make Dawamak stew. Not good for you, yes? Hi! Perhaps you know other Dawamaks. Perhaps you want them to be Dawamak stew. This can be arranged. Corinth's not above fighting for Dawamaks against other Dawamaks, if price is right. Alright, we have met the mercenary group of the Corinth Raiders. They were having a fine evening, then you showed up. So what can happen here is several things. If you've got the cash, first of all, we can ask them to cease the infernal shrieking, but we can potentially tell them to raid one of our rivals, but we don't have any rivals. If we did, we can hire them to raid an enemy. We can also hire a leader from them, but we're actually over our leader capacity. This would be an admiral or a general for our forces. We don't have any forces. But we can't ask him to stop shrieking. Hi, what shrieking? They don't even know. But that's it. That's all we're doing with them right now. Oh, the cat has arrived. Cat. Tell your cat that Drek said... I don't think he likes that, but I'll tell him. From Drek. We have no cat emote. Alright, I'll work on it. Well, wait. Aren't the, Yeah, we do. It's just, they're just, like, the default things. There you go. Cat emotes. We might have to have one of our cat, though. He's actually gotten sick. He's, I think he's got a food allergy happening. We've changed his diet to get away from it. But I think with the old food we were using, I'm hoping that's all it is, but, because it's happened in the past. So in the past, we went to the vet said you need to change the food, we did, it worked. So, problem is our local place, like, stopped carrying the food that was working, so we got yet another, it's not working, and so we had to get another. But he's actually developing sores, rashes and sores, like open sores, so, him being social, normally he's extremely social, and him showing up today is like the first time I've seen him in like 2 days, because he just hides. It's kind of sad. Gonna have to go and see the vet again, but we're hoping that the new food will help out. This is... Cardella, you have found a message in a bottle. As we expected, the interior of this solar sailor is appropriately archaic. The bridge resembles the deck of an old planet-bound sailing ship, designed to sail on watery seas. The deck plating appears to be metal, but most surfaces are covered with carved wood, a contrast to the grass-like substance on viewports and data screen. Glass-like, goodness. Glass-like substance on viewports and data screens. Powering up the ship's computers, we have found a data file with an old-fashioned seafarer's song. According to our archaeologists, this melody was once known as a sea shanty or space shanty. We are attempting to transcribe the lyrics, because obviously lyrics to a sea shanty is the most important thing. Ahoy! Oh boy. Yeah, I need to pull something up. I need to be ready for what's coming next. It's gonna take a minute.
Come on.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's coming next. I will when the time is right. It just autoplayed. We will share the link. All right, back to the game. Back to the game. We might know the lyrics of the sea shanty already. The secrets shall be revealed.
Construction complete.
Very inefficient for him to go that far. I basically built him just to get that 10 research going. I'm hoping right now, I'm saving up my influence. We're hoping to go and claim Navi here. If we can claim Navi, then we can get this chunk, including this desert world. Ooh. This is a significant moment. By the way, did I tell it to colonize this? I think I did. Okay. Our empire has added a tradition. So far we have mastered the traits of aptitude and of diplomacy. But now we can begin embarking on a new era of cultural development. So, we very likely are just going to go straight to prosperity. But adaptability is one that it looks good on the surface. It's actually one of the worst ones, I think. I'm not going to go through all of these. Discovery is like the science option, but it also is science along with scanning and surveying planets. We're well past where that part is useful. Conrad, welcome to you and your party. Are you arriving from a fellow game of Stellaris? Be interested to know how that one's going. We are peaceful Sloths, and we're taking over the galaxy through the power of friendship. All right, I'm going to, just for the sake of efficiency, I think we're just going to go ahead and grab our prosperity now. This is one of the more powerful ones. It's boring, but it's just so much resources you get just all across the board. We're just going to do it.
Council agenda available.
I can explain, but I think for time's sake, we will leave it be. Cardell has leveled up, our grand storyteller. Cardell is one of our people in chat here. By the way, if you're unaware, now we don't get new leaders that often because they seem to live for centuries, but whenever we do get a new leader, you are able to spend channel points to see if that new leader will be you. But this is our grand storyteller, so he's on our council. We can give him some hyper focus, which will result in empire-wide research speed. Very useful. Physics focus, so this is going to be specifically physics. 10% to physics, the one of the 3 types, or we can have 6% to all 3 types. Expansionists will not be that great for us at this point. We do want to expand the outposts and star bases, but long term I just don't like it. We're going to go hyper focus, more science across the board.
Construction complete.
I'm going to try to do this leapfrog up here and take Navi. Apparently the Space UN has been doing things. I don't even know. So the what just passed was is this our very first? I think it is. It's our very first resolution of the Space UN, and they passed the Readied Shield. And so what happened here is this is for empires that have fleets, which is pretty much every empire except for us. And so they're getting more diplomatic weight and 10% naval capacity, but the ships cost a little bit more. And so that's going to be beneficial to everyone except for us. Our current diplomatic weight is 1.1, about half of the top guy. We aren't focused on it yet. We will be eventually. But now everyone relative to us just went up like 20%. Not exactly 20 because their points are all coming from fleets, but it'll be a big chunk of it. Like this guy right here, 770 points of the 1.9 thousand is fleet, and that's going up by 20%. So our influence will wane a little. No more ADHD, you're focused. Just like that. Okay, we have contacted another of our mercenary types. There's another word for them. They're called Marauders. So similar to the other guys, the ones who don't like Dabalmax, this one's our alpha aliens. They're the Sidmetian Ravagers. Okay, they live on the bulk of their massive numbers are on crowded and squalid conditions. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, they seem to have developed a strong martial culture. Life in the cold void has become a second nature to them, and they are very adept space warriors. There's no central government to speak of. They're divided into several factions. This is basically space Klingons out for hire.
An alien empire has established communications.
Unlike the civilized star nations of the galaxy, we have no single master to lord over us, but I have been chosen to convey this message to you on behalf of all of the house. Do not try to impose your soft, effete ways upon us. You may freely send alien ships into our territory, but do not expect them to return. Our warriors will welcome the diversion, however. Transmit on this frequency only if you wish to offer tribute, or if you have need of mercenaries, as well as the means to pay for them. Yeah, those ones aren't screeching. You guys don't have to go through that one again. I need to build something here just so my OCD can settle down. This is a forge world already. I'll just do the monument. Okay. The director of the Museum of Exobiology on Twitch has issued a request for the procurement of several live alien specimens. These creatures were spotted on surveyed habitable worlds, but they are difficult to capture. It would require the full resources of a science ship for a lengthy period of time. Well, I think, obviously we can have, more aliens closer to home. That's better, so we'll go gather them.
Situation log updated.
What are the specific reasons for what building I choose? So most of the time, if I'm not at war changes everything. You need all-out alloys, right? If you're planning on war, if you're doing all that, you need alloys, you need energy to support the maintenance of your fleet. Everything else is secondary. I am instead just focused on economy, and if you're min-maxing, which we're not, if you're min-maxing, you really need science. You need science, you need consumer goods. That's how you win the game, is with massive science. I generally don't, because it's just, I've been there, done that. So instead, I'm kind of having each planet specialize. So, for example, which one did we just pick? This one down here. There's a few buildings that I just like to have on every planet. Now, the Gene Clinic, they've buffed it, but historically this is one of the weakest buildings you can do. So it gives you population growth speed, but it uses population to give you the growth speed. So that means it's going to take years and years and years to gain that growth amount beyond what your guys are. And meanwhile, those guys could have been just mining stuff and getting other resources. So most of the time people say don't do it. I just like it anyway because I want more pops, and I like the other side effects that it gives. Another thing I like to have all the time is these monuments. You can only have one per planet, just like one of those. And so these monuments are going to generate unity. Unity gives us these culture things, these traditions. It also gives us extra things as well. They're giving us amenities, trade value, that sort of thing. So there's a few things. Okay, when I build it, I'll explain it. Yeah. Good call. Part of my problem is whenever I do play this solo, like I've seen all the events, I've made all it basically I can fly it on autopilot and just go rapidly picking everything. We're at 3,500 hours or something played Stellaris, so it is a little bit of an effort to make sure I slow down for us all to kind of let it marinate and enjoy it. And sometimes something slips through the cracks.
Research complete.
Okay, something's happened. We have gained a favor. I don't know why. We've gained a favor through the skills of our envoys. That's right, we're diplomats. We've managed to gain a favor on the Kirim civilization. Well, let's see what they have to say. Just at least for everyone to see it. Oh, we have a favor on the guys down here. I forgot what we're planning on doing with these guys. These are pre-FTL. I think we just want to make them a protectorate. We want to enlighten them, but they don't like us. They're mad at us, suspicious of us. So that's why we're doing the espionage and improving relations. That's what's going on there. All right. You always build the entertainment complexes. I actually almost never build those. Almost never. We can have a look at least what they do and what they don't do. So we just got a tech though, some sensors. Station upkeep, that's nice. I don't think I need the rare. This is a rare tech. Don't think I need it. It lets you travel beyond closed borders, and most borders except for these guys are open to us. Let's do this. And a couple other things I need to make sure I do, because I've already forgotten about it, is the alien specimens. We're going to mark all of these, so there are going to be like 7 different specimens. The elusive Tarblack, the mighty Targasoid, the vile Orinthe. We need to find all of these and bring them to our museum. It belongs in a museum. So we're going to track them on the map. There you have it, all the flashies. We're going to send scientists to those. All right, so as far as entertainment complexes, so what does the building itself do? I'm just gonna look at it. Holo Theater. Oh, an ad's playing. I'm gonna wait just in case. 30 seconds. I don't know who can and can't hear this right now, but we're going to assume somebody can't. So here we go. Ready for this? Okay, and that's why you never, under any circumstances, ever want to do that. And now we don't have to talk about it anymore, so we'll move on. I don't... I don't know who's got like ad blockers or not, but whoever was watching the ad, it just ended and I just said that. I wasn't saying anything. All right, so Holo Theaters. What do? They give you 2 entertainer jobs. Those jobs use a little bit of consumer goods, negligible consumer goods, and they produce a little bit of Unity, negligible Unity, and a whole lot of amenities. So 20 amenities across the 2 guys, 10 each. My homeworld is going to have more amenities just for the fact that people like living at home. So right now our homeworld has 14 amenities. The 14 amenities is giving a effect of extra 8% happiness. Now this is something I don't like about the system, is that you got like 3 different things to give you one final tangible result. So amenities are resulting in happiness. Happiness results in productivity, like stability here. Okay. Let's see if I can't click on a guy. Here's his happiness. Okay. And so from this happiness, we're getting stability. Stability gives us extra percent from resources, trade, and immigration pool. I don't like all of that. It's very convoluted. But the end result is, if I can get stability in another way, I don't actually need the amenities. As long as amenities are not negative, we're okay. So if I go through my planets, you'll notice pretty much all of them just stay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 12. It's this one right here. 16, 14. Everyone's happy without any, like, I just don't need it. And our stability is already very high because we've got our people happy. Our factions are happy. Like, we've made most of these factions, the approval rating, aside from this one, 40% approval. I think that's new. They're just not on the council. And they want me to have 5,000 in the bank. We're almost there, so they'll actually be pretty happy here soon. Defensive wars only? I could do that. Hold on. Policies. War philosophy. Yeah. Defensive wars. That's fine. I'm not declaring war. So they're going to be happy too. And so basically our planets are stable. We're getting the bonuses, and I don't need to actually spend the workers on making happiness, and instead those workers can be doing things that actually produce stuff. Now, my thing, kind of like your thing, you're doing the happiness thing. I'm just pointing out I don't think I need it, but instead I'm doing something that you might think you don't need because I'm doing the medical workers. Right? Similar logic, like the 2 guys that are doing medical workers, these 2 pops, they're giving us pop growth speed. They're giving us habitability and amenities. That's probably why right there is why I don't need the other ones. Is I'm getting the amenities through the medical workers. There you go. It's less, but I'm getting growth speed. So I think that's a better trade-off. Yeah, more other stuff. Agreed. Because as long as my amenities are plus, I'd rather have somebody getting minerals or energy or something else. You don't need... You can get a whole lot of plus amenities, but it only goes so far once your people are already happy. Like, my people are just wildly happy. Can I see it from... Not from species? Like, approval, 100%. Approval, 90%. This is a 85% habitability, so that's going to lower happiness a little bit. But if I look at my guys... In fact, these are not even my guys, right? But he's 100% happy. Find a random planet. This guy, 97% happy. So I don't really need to, I don't need amenities. 92, 92, 92, they're all happy. And so as long as they're happy, I don't need more amenities. But if you are playing a game where your species is not happy very often, or if you're enslaving things, you're conquering things, you know, there's other types of species out there, gameplay out there, where your people are going to be unhappy like all the time, and so you do need to deal with that. Ooh, our ruined world. After much fruitless sifting through the ruins, a number of clues, this is our relic world, a number of clues directed our search towards remains of a kind of planetary data processing and storage center. If we can find a way to gain access to whatever records remain, they will be invaluable for unraveling this planet's mysterious past. Continue searching. And a big chunk of engineering research. Meanwhile, the council, which isn't representing, yeah, every last one of them are spiritualists, we're ready to do more happiness. We're very happy here. So for next 10 years, we're getting 10% bonus to happiness. Can you get even more? Trust and diplomatic weight. Specialist pop. This one's good because that'll be science and things too. Leader XP gain. Actually, that's quite nice too. Everyone just potentially gets a level. We are focused on leaders. Xenophile growth. We come in peace. Border friction reduction. This just makes everyone get more trust of us. That's awesome. They'd really love us. But I think we'll do the leadership. Oh, our space shanty. Cardella, this is you. You have to sing along here. Immediately after we completed the restoration and reactivation of the data files, a thrumming musical cadence surged throughout the ship, accompanied by the auto-tuned voices of ancient mariners. Transcription follows. And here you have the lyrics. Come all you young spacefarers, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of our fish from the sea. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather, boys. When the wind blows, then we're all together, boys. Blow ye winds fringeward, hey. Blow ye winds, blow. Out of the galaxy, steady she goes. Out to the galaxy. I can do you one better than me reading, or even me singing.
Come on, you young spacefarers, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of our fish from the sea. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather. When the wind blows, then we're all together. Boys, blow ye winds fringeward, and blow ye winds blow. Out to the galaxy, steady she goes.
More lyrics.
The great dragon in search of our home. Through space to a place that's beneath waves and foam. And it's windy weather, boys, stormy weather. When the wind blows, then we're all together. Boys, blow ye winds fringeward, and blow ye winds blow. Out to the galaxy, steady she goes. Come the solar winds taking us far.
There is more. In fact, I pulled up a 1-hour version of it, so we're not going to do that. Just look up Stellaris Sea Shanty. It's actually pretty good. Their promo team has done amazing in the last several DLCs. There's that. There's another song that happens with the Toxoid people.
Special project complete.
Ooh, a galactic omelet. If you guys remember, and I don't know if you would, oh, I thought I moved him already. So there was a planet-wide, a whole planet basically, that we thought was a planet. It turned out being a giant egg. A giant egg. And so we decided to study it. It took forever, and I actually was like, that's going to take too long. I want to move you over to the other planet. It just added it to his queue. He didn't move. But the insides of Drugger 2 Alpha were not what we expected. Instead of some infant titanic life form, we've simply uncovered genetic slop. The entire planet is filled with genetic material and resources. What all this material would have been is unclear, but our galaxy is probably safer not knowing. Fascinating. A massive amount of society research and plus 8 society per turn. This is the other reason why I want to get over to Navi. We wanted this society. Oh, okay, these guys are making friends with this mega corporation. Who are you? Handsome. They are here. Okay then, so these purple are making friends with the purple and red. Also, Dutchy has leveled up. He is our head of research after all. But he is a governor as well, so it looks like all of these are going to benefit our planet and not the empire-wide. So we can give this intellectual trait, meaning all researchers on the planet are getting 10% more output, which is probably what we're going to do, and they're cheaper to maintain. Or we can make consumer goods more alloys, more worker pops. It's going to be the intellectual. This Rune's world is a research haven. Big brain for Dutchy. You see this up here? That's not a 4-head. That's a 5-head. Right? On Dutchy? That's Gurner. That's not even... Where's Dutchy? There he is. I didn't realize we had 2. There it is. That's the 5-head. Not Gurner. See, that's just not Gurner.
Incoming transmission.
Okay, our homeworld's actually kind of running out of space. They want a migration treaty. Once again, it costs influence. We're going to say no. We like migration. They headbutted a wall, yes.
Research complete.
Gained another favor. So these people are going to start owing us just because our diplomats are so skilled at what we do. Ooh, so we can get mining station output. That'll be more resources, but we're actually doing okay. Or we could get this crystal-infused plating, which is already 99% done because we did our Friends of the Crystals event. Also, all game long, we've only been able to build the basic Corvette ships. We could start being able to build slightly larger destroyers. The problem with this is there's no way we're going to keep up. Even if we get destroyers, the other guys are already in battleships, so we're not going to keep up. I think we focus on economy more than anything, which might bring us back to our mining station. And I think it will, because this is going to stay. This stays here. So we're just going to grab that next. Probably fell from a tree, yes. Well, my understanding is that sloths literally spend all their lives in, like, the trees, except for, like, one part of the day they will leave a tree. And it takes them, like, a couple hours to do so, but they will only leave a tree, like, once a day, or even might be once every couple of days. And it's just...
Colony established.
It's only to use the facilities, to go to the bathroom. That is when a sloth leaves the tree. Ooh. Our rivalry with the birds has ended. That's good, because we were not rivaling them. We were actually trying to improve relations. They're being friendly right now. Oh my. Okay, so we have a window here. I might not need to continue to improve relations. If we can make them friendly with us, it might be worth the influence to make a pact, because that will build trust. So if we look at the stats here, oh, we don't have enough intel to know what's going on. How come it changed by plus 200? I don't know why they suddenly decided that they liked us so much. I'm happy for it. Maybe the government changed. Cat almost knocked over a drink. I don't know if I even need to do a pact. That's 500 relations. I do have an envoy, but they envoys generate like 1 positive relation a month. Right? Like it builds up to like plus 30. But we're at plus 575. So just establish an envoy, an embassy, and I think I'm not going to do a pact. I think we're fine the way we are because that's such a high amount. Now I do have an extra envoy sitting around, so we'll just go ahead and assign you to the Galactic Community. So he's going to go to Space UN, and each one here is 10% more influence. So we're at 1.2k. This will get us to 1.32k. It's not going to be much, but we're just going to keep, you know, plugging away.
Special project complete.
Ooh. Oh, this was something else that happened long before, weeks ago. This was another event over here. We found a tree floating in space, and there were guardian amoebas protecting it. The amoebas are long since gone. One of these guys killed them. But after rigorous research, we now understand why the tree's sap summoned those creatures. The tree is able to produce a highly nutritious substance, which has machine-like abilities to repair organic tissue. The tree is a tree of life. If we harvested it, we could use it to expand the lifespan of our people. But there's one problem. The tree's healing power is limited in amount. We can only use it to improve a small group of people's lives substantially or increase everyone's situation by a small amount. We could give it to our leaders. We could give it to the people. Or we could just let it drift along for a very small 25 influence. We're not going to do the tree drifting along. It would be kind of fun thematically. We like trees, after all, as Sloths. But 25 is insulting. We just can't. We also... Oh, there you go, Neon. Alright. Exception of mammals to not have 7 neck vertebrae. You heard it here first. So we can share the elixir of life or exclude with the elixir of life. Now, this would make... It lists 2 things, but we don't really have... Lithoids are rock people. We don't have rock people yet. But everyone else, 5% happiness across the whole empire for the rest of the game. The problem is, most everyone is like close at or close to 100% happiness already. Thematically, it's nice. It's the nice thing to do. But gameplay-wise, we get like nothing out of it. At that point, I'd almost do the tree drift along because we're sloths, and this is a tree. This is like the tree, right? That we've been looking for all along. However, we've also been building towards leaders and having leaders be amazing. We can expand their life by 15 years. And I think that is the wise course of action. In this game. In other games, it might not be. Xenophile, it's actually not Xenophile. It would be, if we go to... Don't think I can see it here. Factions, maybe. So, the egalitarian, which is the little weighing thing here. Egalitarian is the making everyone happy and build a utopia civic. We don't actually have that at all. So we're not beholden to making the people happy. We're just nice in general. We like aliens, but it doesn't mean that they need freedom. We like have them as pets. Something like that. So, yeah, what are we? We are Xenophile, we're pacifist, we're spiritual, but we're not egalitarian. We're not freedom for all. And so, I think we can justify keeping it for our leaders, since basically all of our starting traits and everything, our species, everything, you know, we have leader upkeep reduction, leader experience gain, leader lifespan. Like, it's all about the leaders. So we're gonna give it to the leaders. Yeah, you're right, though. You're right.
Incoming transmission.
And yeah, Elias will be absolutely happy to have the benefits of the Tree of Life there. That's probably what we did, though. You know, we found it because we've been looking for it, and now we all partake of the tree. At least those of us in charge. Okay, they want a commercial pact. This is getting really hard to turn down. 41 is a lot. We don't technically need it, but it is a lot. And influence, though. Most of the things that we're needing to colonize are not a emergency. They're not a hurry. We've claimed most of the things we need. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Plus, those are our neighbors that we're trying to make like us. And they do like us, but... Do we ever... Yeah, our borders are open with them. Maybe they'll open their borders soon. Here's that Gaia world. We're going to go ahead and put a clinic in here first so that the population fills fast. It's a huge max size 25. Elias is happy, yes.
Incoming transmission. Construction complete.
Okay, we're not doing the migration. I can't afford the influence. And we did get the Navi system. So we grabbed that bottleneck there. If you're wondering, this is a star that's connected to this one, and we haven't explored it yet because we're cracking that egg. We'll get to it. In fact, we'll get to it now.
Incoming transmission.
782. These, so we can, if we do a research agreement, then when we research a tech that they have, we get a speed bonus towards researching that tech. They don't have that many. I mean, it's a good amount, but again, influence, just not going to do it. Oh, you asked earlier how to generate influence. Okay, so there's not a lot of ways. This is a very rare resource to have. One of the best things to do is just not have it getting spent on packs. So this migration pact I have, I could probably get rid of that. The research agreements, commercial packs, those are all costing influence. The best thing you can do is just not add to the cost. The other thing you can do is power projection. That's probably the thing you have the most single control over. So I'm generating 3 as a basis amount, but an additional 1.09 from my meager fleet. And so even though we're pacifists, just by keeping this fleet, we're getting 33% more influence from projection. Now, part of that's going to be because Outtro is generating extra from power projection. He is an intimidator. But even so, we're getting some from that. The other thing you can do is just hope that your leaders themselves become influential. Your leader, your king, your emperor can get like a +1 to influence. And there's several others if they have to be on the council, I think. And so you can actually end up with like +9, 10, 11 influence if you get the leaders with the right buffs. We have not. So that's kind of the only thing, is just don't let your... You see how often they're asking to make deals. You can't make deals with everyone. You'll just have no influence. Yes, the leaders of Twitch Prime have to become influencers. Absolutely. Elias, I think you're right, though they mitigated it some by, if you decide to be the sort that actually cares about politics, so if you do the diplomacy tree, you know, either you're going to do this and then you care about it for the rest of the game, or you're just going to ignore this entirely. Like, you're not going to just pick this up maybe willy-nilly. You're going to pick this up if you're going to do treaties and pacts. And then if you do, the diplomatic influence cost is cut in half. And so you do get rewarded for that with the diplomacy tree, but not everyone's going to do that. So basically, if I'm not playing a friendly group, I'm not doing diplomacy, and I'm not having treaties. You know? I agree. It's a bit too black and white. I agree. It's only a small mitigation of the problem. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on.
Through the space lanes and out.
We've unlocked more.
Windy weather, boy, stormy weather. When the wind blows, then we're all together. Boys, blow ye winds, fringe word.
As we explore the ship, further attempts to power it up and recover its data files unlocked more stanzas of the ancient space Shanty. The ship's holographic display vibrantly projected images of sailors and spacefarers singing and dancing in accompaniment. Chorus repeats. Oh, there's the dragon. The Tyanki is the space whales. That's coming up in the next verse here. Very important. We have the space whale. Oh, I skipped the leg there. We've got the queen of the space whales here. All right. Translate more lyrics, Cardella. Turns volume up to 100. Okay. Something I need to remind everyone is I do have that meeting I mentioned coming up here pretty soon, so I will have to leave in 10-15 minutes. We'll see what we can get done here. I'm just glad we're getting more lyrics to our sea shanty. We can all thank Cardella for having discovered it out in the vastness of space.
Construction complete.
Oh, we're back. All right. Stop everything. Our archaeologists have unearthed a stash of potent potables. We got some booze. The sailors consuming... Were the sailors consuming these foul fluids? We will not ingest these strange liquids. Our exploration of the ship is already sufficiently intoxicating. We want more lyrics! Swarms of robots, get ready to run. Fight 110, a dozen, 1101. No one can stop you. All right, we gotta pause that. There will be more. Sorry about the screen constantly moving. It's me just moving the mouse off to adjust.
Spaceborne life form encountered.
Wait, why can you... Oh, and there's another ship already on its way. You're still really far. You can do something else. Not sure. We need to prioritize what we want to claim, and it probably needs to be science, places with science on it. Got 3, 3, 3. There's a 4, but it's got guys on it. We're gonna get this next already. Why don't you just head back this way? So we've got our new tech. We've got a ton of things that we've already researched some of. Our empire size is affecting us by reducing technology and tradition effectiveness here. We can reduce that by 5%. Also getting another envoy. Edict fund, I don't think we're using edicts that much yet. We don't need the artillery, we don't need the weapons. This is okay. Another Federation Association going out. Commercial deals happening. Just a friendly place, this galaxy, on Grand Admiral and High Aggressive.
Research complete.
Okay. Mining station increase. Ooh, this is good. We can start getting some of this exotic gas resource. We need to get that. That'll let us get wells to do it. We also just got the space. This is multiple nice things, but in addition, we're getting this planet we're going to start terraforming right away to our tropical. Now that's briefly going to make our people upset because they want us to stay over 5,000. We've got a faction, the National Prosperity Board. They want us to have solid liquidity, so we got to stay over 5,000 energy to keep them happy. But they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Oh, we're gonna have to just buy something just so it doesn't nag me. Oops. So we're building a building. We talked about this. This is our... Oh. And we'll get to that in a second. Our capital gives 10% bonus resources from jobs. And with the stability and everything, this is actually one of the best places, barring like outright science bonuses like our relic world. It's one of your best places to have science buildings as your capital. So the rest of the things are just going to pale in comparison. Eventually, we will relocate all of our food, minerals, and everything to other things on our capital. They'll be much more industrialized. But for the moment, this is a science house. Meanwhile, Cider Prime, the site of our underground civilization. There have been a wave of earthquakes on Cider Prime recently. Buildings of several of our settlements have collapsed with many fatalities as a result. The subterranean alien empire is excavating a new cavern deep underground where they plan to build a new city, and this appears to be the source of the earthquakes. We can turn the other cheek, which adds devastation to the planet. Pops are angry for the next 10 years, losing happiness, or we demand an apology. We still get the devastation, but relations will be harmed. We are friendlies to the aliens. I think we will turn the other cheek. By the way, that's a biblical statement, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that. They did it on purpose. That's true, we did accept refugees, didn't we? So now it's saying that there is a lack of housing. Part of that's just because 10% of the housing is reduced. That'll go away as they repair it. You can see that number counting down. 10 years, long time.
System survey complete.
This is quite the resources on this planet. Star here. Okay, and now that Elias is done with just exploring, there's really nothing else to explore. We are going to go and start gathering those creatures for the museum. So I'm gonna go check that out. The game is saying we have made an improvement. Ah, we have energy siphon.
Incoming transmission.
And the sensors. So, as far as fleets go, energy siphon is bad, except it's really good against shields, plus 100% shield damage. So its normal damage is 2.55 average damage. Double that for shields. Minus 75% to armor. You compare that with the normal anti-shield. Here's your 2.71, so slightly stronger. It's at 2.55, but only 50% damage to shield. So this one actually really excels at killing shields compared to a level 1 mass driver. Higher levels, this won't stay competitive. But we already have blue lasers. Those get bonus to armor and hull. So as long as we can take down the shield, because these are minus to shield. So as long as we can take down the shield, we make the rest of our weapons more effective. So that's actually a decent upgrade. I'm going to save that design, and we're going to upgrade our ships. And then whenever they're done, because they got to travel half the galaxy to get to our one star base, whenever they're done with that, we'll probably send them, and we've got to clear out these alien hives over here. Although I think, before we go, let's actually take out this mining hub. Now here's a much more tempting research proposal. The other one was like 6 and 7 techs. This guy has 11 of each type of tech more than us. They're way ahead of us in tech. I just can't do the influence yet. It'll all happen later. We'll do it later. Oh, wait for it. It's not the song. Sorry. We have a new archaeological thing, but this is Baby Drewski on the Relic World. Once we found an entrance to the data center and forced passage through the wreckage, it was a surprisingly easy task to reactivate and interface with the computer systems. Self-repairing circuits and learning the algorithms quickly came online to restore the limited functionality and communicate with our own computers. The cause for this burst of activity quickly became clear. Ilix Prime was once the capital of a machine empire known as the Omni Codex. Named for their driving purpose, the Omni were a hybrid of robots and cyborgs who had attempted to assimilate samples of all biological life in the galaxy in order to prevent their extinction in the face of an unknown galactic calamity. From the records which survive, we gather that this course of action was not popular amongst the other galactic powers of the era. The Omni were eventually defeated in a joint campaign conducted by several of these empires. Before their downfall, the Omni managed to sample a great deal of races, and much work was put into developing a device capable of recreating them if the need should ever arise. This device, the Omni Codex proper, is apparently stored somewhere nearby. We must continue the search. Sounds like Mass Effect? Maybe. Gito is always so much faster. I keep forgetting he needs to follow the other fleet.
Construction complete.
There we go. Oh no. Oh no. Here it is!
And it's windy weather, boy, stormy weather. When the wind blows, then we're all together. Boys, blow ye winds, French word, blow ye winds, blow.
Cast off the hawser! Our exploration has revealed a glance of ancient history. Displaying the zeal and courage of ancient explorers, clearly the captain used this space shanty to motivate and coordinate the crew. Perhaps they even sang along. Our archaeologists are suggesting this performance should be preserved in a museum installation. As for the ancient melody, we've transcribed all of the lyrics we could find and added them to our databanks. Our own sailors now have a habit of singing versions of their own space shanties, which should improve their morale and efficiency. It is time to untether from this ancient vessel, casting off the hawser as we set sail on solar winds, steady as she goes. We memorize the lyrics and set the next course, and from now on, for the rest of the game, we have 10% faster ships. All right. Well done, Cardella. You know, I don't know if we're going to be able to top that. I did mention I need to get going out, and it actually is time. I think that is the perfect sending off for this session here, because we do need to get going. I need to be a responsible adult. So, alright. We'll call it there. That was fun. I'm gonna roll the outro. There it is.